It's been 2 years since I made my first game in Godot, which is the Red Circle game. Since then, I learned nothing. Yeah, 2 years developing games in Godot, but I learned nothing. Why? Well, let's go back to 2019. I was scrolling to see if any creators I love posted a video, and a random video popped up. I made a game in 48 hours. I said, what? This guy made a game in 48 hours? How? I thought making games was just for big studios, like Rockstar, Ubisoft. I didn't even know Rockstar and Ubisoft were studios. I just saw their logos on PlayStation 2 games. When I clicked on that video, my mind was blown. This guy Danny made a game by himself. I didn't know anything about programming, game engines, or how he did it. I just loved how his videos make me feel. They made me feel like making games was easy. And that's not true. Or is it? From that day, I found more game developers on YouTube who made videos like Danny. I'm talking about Burkies, Blackthorn Pro, Jonas Tylora, and more. I fell in love with their videos and liked the idea that one person could make a game without needing a big team. Video after video, I started thinking game development was easy. If these guys could make games in just few minutes, why couldn't I? And here, where the beautiful idea that game dev is easy started to disappear. Actually, I didn't know what game dev even meant. I installed Unity. Unity was the most popular indie game engine back in 2019. From the first clicks to open Unity, I knew my laptop couldn't handle this software. When I tried to make a 2D game in Unity, it was really hard for me. Of course, I watched tutorials. Most tutorials teach you how to create a basic game, because it's easy for them to make 2D or 3D games and publish them as a tutorials on YouTube. That's a bad thing. When I followed a tutorial, I understood most of the steps to make a game, but one step made me not want to make a game, and I think you all know it. Programming. C# made me feel like I couldn't make a game on my own. Every line I wrote was just a copy of the script in the tutorial. I reached a point where I said to myself, this isn't for me, and I stopped. When COVID-19 came, game devlogs became more popular. More new game developers joined and started making devlogs about their games. Again, I was watching those videos one by one and felt really disappointed. Why? Why are these people making their games and I'm not? The answer was, I didn't think to make my own game. So I told myself, what do I have to do to make a game in Unity? I don't know. Yeah, I went back to watch tutorials about how to make a game from scratch in Unity. This time, I knew more things than before, like what is a game engine. A game engine is a software that lets you create games in an easy way. Yeah, and I didn't get it the first time I heard game engine. You know, game engine. What the hell? I also knew what game assets were. With all this, I created a new project in Unity and started making my own game. But what about programming? I followed a really efficient method, which is copy-paste without asking, and it worked. Everything I wanted to do in my game, I searched for it on YouTube and just copy-paste without asking. If you're asking why I didn't use AI, my friend, there wasn't any AI back then. The game assets, the sprites for the player, and the time map were all made by myself. And believe me, you don't want to see how the player look like. What the hell is this? I made the player move and jump, added basic enemies, and flowers? Yeah, I was really happy with the result. It's not a playable game if you are asking. I recorded my game using my phone. Why? Are you crazy? My laptop couldn't handle Unity and OBS at the same time. Man, and no, I didn't record the video for YouTube. I just recorded for myself. But I said, why don't I publish this video on YouTube? You know, as a proof that I made my own game, not by myself. And yeah, I posted the video without any editing or explaining how I made the game. After I published the video, it didn't get any views, just mine. The idea of creating videos about making games seemed a good way to learn, because you're pushing yourself by showing people you don't know that you're learning game dev. That's why I made a goal to learn game dev and publish what I learned by showing it in videos. The big problem was I didn't want to use Unity anymore. First, it requires a high-performance laptop, and mine couldn't handle it. Second, the C# language was hard for me to learn, so I moved to processing for a short period. The reason I moved to processing was because of Daniel Schiffman's playlist. Daniel has a good way of explaining things and make them easier to understand. After a while, I realized processing isn't a game engine. Yeah, you can make simple games in it, but it can't reach the level of real game engines. So I had to move to a real game engine. During that time, I was watching the devlogs of devlog, which are really different from other developers. I'm talking about the videos, not the development. Ben has a unique way of editing, and he was using Godot. After watching a lot of Ben's videos, I got interested in Godot game engine. At first, I thought Godot was just like Unity, that my laptop couldn't handle it. But after searching about it and install it, it was really fast and easy to work with. Yeah, from that day, which was 2 years ago, I've been using Godot. But the truth is, I didn't learn anything. First, we have to define what learning Godot means. Does learning how to make Flappy Bird mean I learned Godot? Or learning how to make the player move, jump or make UI for your game mean you learned Godot? Then yes, I learned Godot. But my definition of learning Godot is to understand how Godot works. Or in other words, how game engines work under the hood. You have to know guys, I'm not saying this because I'm pro at making games. No, of course I can make simple games. I mean really simple games. But that's not my vision or what I want to learn. You said at the beginning you wanted to learn how to make games, isn't it? Yes, that's true. My vision changed. As a teenager, you will have a lot of visions. I want to be a doctor, I want to be the next Elon Musk, and all that stuff. As you grow, your vision sticks to one point. But at the first, your vision changes a lot. Take game development for example. What is your vision? To be a game developer? A game artist? A game tester? Well, we all want to be a game testers. Imagine testing GTA 6. That would be really cool. Or the one who develops the game engine. That's totally a different thing. Yeah, in these 2 years, my vision changed. And there were a lot of personal problems. You know, life stuff that shifts you away from learning. But I still want to make games. Not 4 games, like my dream game, but games that teach me something new. From now on, you will see me developing games in Godot. My next video will be about making a 3D game in Godot.